Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Not the Girl Next Door. I'm your host, Meg Reynolds, and we have a very, very special guest this week. Rocco's obviously giving her a very warm welcome. It is Rachel Deeb. Now, if you are anybody in the music industry in Nashville, you have probably heard of RK Deeb. She is a woman of many talents, probably one of my biggest inspirations creatively. And also my manager now, which is so exciting to say. But Rachel, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. What a beautiful intro. Making me feel good.
I gotta butter you up so you keep getting me work.
I know. Good. Yeah, I might kiss my ass a little bit more.
It's working. Guys, I'm booked out through October. That is insane behavior.
That's insane. That makes me feel good.
She's doing her job.
Yes.
But it's funny because Rachel and I go back farther than she even realizes, because when I was still with iHeart, I was always the one posting her work on iHeart Country and like tagging like photo credit RK Deeb. And I vividly remember always wanting to like meet her and like work with her and be like that. Like, I'm so inspired by her. And I always thought about DMing her for coffee. And thankfully, I never did because she hates getting asked to go to coffee.
So true. If you DM me to get a coffee, I will ghost you. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
So for people who are just, like, if they haven't heard of you, like, can you give a little spiel of, like, who you are, your credentials, and, like, just why you're such a badass?
Aw, yeah. So I've been in Nashville for 10 years.
10-year town.
I know, truly. Every time I say that, I do think of like the 10-year town or slogan or whatever. But I've been touring for about 9 years, and I started working with Walker Hayes, and then Carly Pierce, Maren Morris, and now on tour with the Lumineers as their media director, which is really exciting. And then aside from touring, I do music videos and I paint. I have a painting company called Elektrik Denim, where I do like custom denim jackets, which has now turned into like guitars and Nikes and
everything.
I just recently did like Bose headphones for Bailey Zimmerman and boots for Sabrina Carpenter, actually, that I have even posted about.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so it's been really great. And I've worked with a lot of labels and towns that are now like my friends, and it's kind of been fun growing in this industry alongside my peers. And now, again, it's been 10 years, so it's like all the people that I started out with, which are now some of our mutual friends too, are these like high up people in the industry. And I'm like, we did it, you guys! Like, we're crushing it, and it's been really great. And now I've started a creative management company. Yes, Meg is signed. It's called Elektrik Haus, and that's been my new passion project lately. And I'm excited to see where that goes, and to just help more creatives, especially females, get into tour and kind of just like guide these people, like the generation before me. Because when I started in Nashville, I had so much help and so much guidance, and so that's kind of been my goal of Elektrik Haus, is kind of like doing what others did for me and guiding people like you, like to all these like artists and people that I think that you would probably get along with, and kind of cut the gap, bridge the gap between. Sorry, Rocco's like so distracting. Stay.
He's on one today.
He's on one. I love it. My goal for Elektrik Haus is to bridge the gap between managers and creatives, so that it kind of cuts out like the miscommunication, or I feel like it's actually just like a matchmaker in that way.
No, literally, I remember texting you like, you're 2 for 2. Like, you are a matchmaker.
Yeah.
Like, Rachel's the reason I'm now on tour with Chris Young and Franny Cash. And I love how different they are as artists, but they both fit me so well, and the camps fit so well. And like, I have so much creative freedom, and just, it's such a good working relationship. And like, I obviously I would not have had that otherwise. And like, this, as beautiful as the thing of touring is, it is really grueling. And like, there are a lot of unspoken rules, but also just, the money conversations can be really difficult, of like knowing your worth and balancing and just all these things. So it's like, it is I think going to change the game of those kinds of relationships, because you, like, even just telling you like things I've already experienced in touring, you're like, no, that's not right. Like,
I remember like when you first told me about your experience touring and just comparing it to the experiences that I've had touring, that's when I really knew like, oh, I'm going to get you on someone like really good that fits your aesthetic and your vibe and all that. And so, yeah, I'm like so proud of you because I do feel like Chris Young and Franny are, again, so different, but like, how fun is it to create for a woman and a male in two different ways? Like, I remember you sent me that video with the Polaroid for Chris, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's his vibe, but like, you should save that for Fran.
And it worked.
And it worked. Yeah. And Franny like loved that. So you can get like your girly creative side out with Franny.
But also build, you know, from like working with a man, because like my portfolio was mostly women, but like, you know, it's just, I really feel like this past month, especially, I've really come into my style. And I think it shows so much in my work. Like the one shot I took of Franny on stage where she's kicking and
so good.
Like
I was like, send that to me right now. I'm posting it.
I was like, I think I'm gonna be chasing that photo for a very long time. Like that is like everyone, I feel like every photographer has their one photo that they're like, I'm gonna be trying to recreate this one for the rest of my life. And like, that's the one where I'm like, I'm going to be chasing that for a long time.
Yeah, that was such a good photo. And like also just showed like, you could just tell when you vibe with your artist and you connect with your artist, like the power and the creative like freedom that you have. Like you could just tell in your photos when that happens and that connection makes like such a difference.
No, it really does. And the inspiration you find too. Like I've never felt more creatively inspired than like having you in my life, having other creatives in my life, working with these artists. Like it really does light a fire under your ass.
Yeah.
Like it's the best feeling in the world. But obviously, you know, no coffee dates for you. But so if someone is trying to break into touring, like, and they want to reach out to other photographers, like, what do you think is something people should be doing to set themselves apart? Because it's true. Like you probably get 20 million coffee DMs a day.
Yeah.
Like
I feel bad saying that, honestly. And sorry.
It is true.
I'm not a bitch. I did the coffee dates.
When it's warranted.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I when I was first starting, I was doing the coffee dates and, you know, reaching out and doing all that. And I also have returned that favor. I feel like I've done the coffee stuff with people. We got coffee. Yeah, exactly. And
but that was after I worked for you.
Right. I feel like the coffee thing is more of just like protecting my energy and my boundaries. And like when I'm off tour, it's just like, I just want to be home in a closed bedroom, lights off. Like I don't want to spend my days on when I'm home, like getting coffee with everybody. And I feel like that's not, like I feel bad because I actually know a lot of photographers that love getting coffee with people. And I'm like, cool. And now as a joke, since everyone knows that I hate getting coffee with people, they send them to me as like a prank. And they're like, so-and-so told me to reach out to get coffee. And I'm like, that bitch. Because I'm like, wait, you know I hate this. But yeah, I don't know. That sounds so mean.
It doesn't stand out. And I think that's like kind of the point I'm trying to make is like, there are, just like with music artists, there's so many people trying to break into photography, even not just touring, but just photography in general. Like, so what is something you think you can do to stand out nowadays to meet your heroes or like just get noticed?
So, well, first I'll say like the people that have reached out for coffee, like a lot of it feels like they just copy and pasted messages. It doesn't feel like curated to me. And then so therefore I kind of just like bypass their message and I don't really respond. So that can work as long as like you're curating to a person, I think. And like and yeah, and I think that, I mean, maybe I could just talk about like how I got started and maybe that can help inspire people. But I feel like I met the right people at the right time when I moved here. People like Tyler Conrad, Edgar Moore, Alex Ferrari, Jeff Johnson, like all these people that I met that were already kind of in it. And your peers, again, are like the people that you need to be networking. Like I always say, it's so important to network sideways than up sometimes, because these peers are the ones that will be hiring you or will be reaching out to like work with their friends on future gigs. So I feel like being a genuine person and saying yes to everything. So when I first started, I remember I was out with, where was I? Oh, I made friends. Sorry, my rings keep hitting together. I made friends. I made friends with Daniel Vorley, who was with Dustin Lynch at the time. And he reached out to me and he was like, hey, I really need help with this music video. if you could just like be there as a friend, like I don't have a budget for you, whatever. I just like need kind of like support.
Yeah.
And I remember being so tired that week, but I said, okay, I will go and help you as a friend. So I went, helped him out, whatever. And then at the end of the music video, he was like, let's all go to Red Door and grab a beer. And I remember thinking, I didn't even want to be here in the first place, let alone like go to a bar. But like, I'm a yes girl and fine, one beer. So I go to the bar and we're all there. And then Alex Ferrari shows up out of nowhere. And he's Maren Morris's full-time photographer. And we're all chatting. And fast forward 6 months later, Alex responds to a story of mine on Instagram and is like, hey, can I fly you to Michigan tomorrow and help me shoot Maren Morris's show and Ryan Hurd's music video? And I had just landed in New York when I got that message. And thank God I had actually all my camera gear with me. And I was like, 100% yes. So flew to Michigan, met Alex, drove to this lake house, and we filmed this whole video. And then we shot Maren's show. And the minute that Maren posted a photo with my tag on it, it was like game over. Like my emails were flooded. So, which was really cool. But like that all wouldn't have happened if I didn't say yes to my friend, to say yes to the drinks and yes to all these things. So like, but with that being said, is like you have to take the dirty jobs. Not saying that the Daniel job or Dustin job is a dirty job, but like
the free jobs, the low
the
paying
free jobs.
ones.
Yeah. Like I would reach out to influencers and be like, hey, I'll shoot you for an hour in exchange for a tag, which I hate like saying that because I do believe like people should be paid for their work. But like I've never done something like that where I then didn't get like another job from it. Like someone would be like, oh, I saw so-and-so's post, like, can you, like, what's your rate or whatever? So it has its perks. I do think though, like you should always value your work. But I have some people that are signed to Elektrik Haus that I've actually known for a while, reached out to me and actually asked to shoot me like in my studio. His name's Lorenzo, and that's how I know Lorenzo. Is he reached out and was like, can I take photos of you painting a skateboard? And he kind of like showed me his work that way too, which was really cool, I thought, and like a cool way to kind of get into that. So yeah, I think like reaching out to photographers and maybe being like, hey, I'd love to assist you on a shoot coming up. I feel like is better than getting coffee. Like, so then it kind of like benefits me because you're going to help me on the set. And then I can kind of show you. And when I can kind of like train someone to assume what my needs on set, then I'll keep hiring them and stuff like that. So like my intern, I always say like, anticipating needs on set is a very good quality to have, because I have an intern and I told her that, and she's like, she'll see me start wrapping up like a backdrop and she's like, okay, she's gonna need gaff tape, and she'll go get the gaff tape. So I think like, yeah, starting out as like an assistant or whatever on set and working your way, because once someone feels comfortable with you and starts training you with what they like on set, then they'll keep hiring you. Yeah. Because they're not gonna wanna keep restarting with someone new, I feel like.
No, that makes it's like you get comfortable working with people. And like something I think I've learned through touring is like sometimes it doesn't even matter how talented you are. If you're not a good hang, if they don't vibe with you, like it's not gonna work. And like I remember when I was dealing with everything, one of my good friends, Evan Mattingly, he put it to me great, because he was like, you talk about dating on your podcast a lot, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, right. So you always talk about how like you could be a great partner, but not a great partner for somebody else. I was like, right. He's like, it's the same thing with touring. Like you kind of have to date around, and like not everyone's going to be a good fit for you, even if you are seemingly like the most talented person. I was like, oh, and like that made sense. Like touring is kind of a lot like dating. Like you're going to bounce through camps, like till you land somewhere that fits for you and like pushes you in a good way creatively and like tests your skills and like forces you to think outside the box. And like I've only been doing this for a little over a year now, which is also crazy to say. But I think it also shows that there is no one path into touring, because like my path, who goes from corporate America to touring? Like that's pretty unheard of, and yet I did it. And it was the same thing. I knew the right people at the right moment in time, and they had needs that they were able to pass me things. And you know, I think too, a lot of the times it's underestimated, like the, not networking, but just being yourself you're doing, like how it can benefit you in the long run. Like I never thought I would end up in touring, but yet I did, because people knew me and they liked me. So they were willing to give me a chance.
Exactly. So that's when I say like, always like say yes, be a genuine person, lower your ego and never expect anything from anybody.
Yeah, people can tell when you're networking just because you want something from them.
Yeah. And those are the coffee dates. I'm like, I don't want to go because you need a job and you just are like trying to.
Right.
And I'm like, just show me your work. Like, I'll see you on set, see if you're a good vibe, whatever. And I can kind of like suss it out, like even with like the messaging. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree. Like you just gotta.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds mean. Like, I don't.
It sounds so mean. I was like,
but it's funny because it's true. It's like there are better ways to get somebody's attention.
You're gonna like label this episode as like I don't do coffee dates. If it's a guy who wants to take me on a coffee date, like maybe though.
If
he's cute, then I'll accept it.
If he has cigarettes for her at the bar.
No.
Yes. Am I wrong?
No, we don't like a cigarette boy.
Oh, that's true. We don't like it.
Or he was singing. Wait, who are you talking about?
I was just making a drunk sig joke. I wasn't even
I was like, I thought you were talking about.
No.
I was like, no. No. But I love a drunk cig. Yeah.
I know you love a drunk cig. That's what I was talking about.
My birthday cigarettes were fake.
But with touring, also, obviously, the big thing, too, is like how hard dating is.
Yeah.
And what has your experience been like with dating as, you know, not just a woman in touring, but like a woman who has a business and like has all these things that she does? Like, I know I've talked about my own struggles of like how men are insecure little crybabies, but like I'm sure you have your experiences.
Yeah. I just had like one thought, like one experience come up and I was like, oh, that was bad. I honestly like haven't really dated a lot, especially on tour. This dog, I'm dead.
He's trying to be a slut today.
Apparently. I know. I dated one guy while I was touring, and I remember like it's kind of funny because I feel like sometimes people think that we're like going hard on tour and drinking and all this stuff, but it's like so opposite to me.
Yeah. Like there are camps that do that, but like
I've never been on a camp that has done that. And like on tour now, like the minute I can sleep, I'm asleep. Like we have an off day in Paris and I'm like in my hotel room, not even leaving because I'm like finally a bed. Like I just want to be in a bed and I just want to be asleep. Yeah, I want to be naked in a hotel room because in a hotel room bed, let me repeat that. I want to be naked in a hotel room bed on my off day. I don't want to be like out at the bars. So anyways, I was thinking about this one time where I was on tour and I was dating this guy and he was like drunk on Broadway, like wasted, like definitely like blacked out. He was my boyfriend at the time. And I had to like get my friend to like go. It was 4 a.m. on the tour bus. And I'm like, we don't get to sleep. Like I barely sleep on the tour bus. Like I'm so tired. And now I have to deal with this guy. And my friend like had to go pick him up from Broadway. And yeah, it was like this whole thing. And then he like, we broke up like a couple days after that. But like, that was in my 20s, but I feel like dating is just so hard on tour. Like I actually recently just like met somebody and I'm home for 10 days and I leave for 7 weeks on Friday. So it's just tough. And I feel like you really got to find someone that like understands the tour life, which is like, It's a lot. Yeah. Like I'm not going to be able to speak to you from 8 p.m. till 1 a.m. in the morning because we're working.
And who knows what time zone we're in?
Yeah, who knows what time zone we're in? And yeah, I don't know. I feel like, but people that we tour with, I feel like do, like all of them are married. I'm like, how'd you guys get married? I don't know how to do that.
Like everyone in Chris's camp is like married with kids. And I'm like, how?
Did you? Yeah, I'm like, where did you meet your wife? I'm never home.
Right.
So like, how did you? Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard. You really just gotta like find someone that's confident in who they are, confident that you're kind of doing your thing on the road and who will want to make it work. And that's tough. It's just kind of like the lifestyle of what we're doing. And it's like, it's hard, but if you want something, you're going to make it work, period. Like that's kind of just it for me. I'm like, we'll figure out a time to call. We will figure out a time where maybe you can come to a show. And if you can't like do that, then I don't want it. So
literally I think my biggest pet peeve in just like life, I don't even want to say it's just in dating, but it's just the whole I'm just so busy thing.
Yeah.
Because I always like, my mindset is there's just nobody busier than someone who's not interested in you. Like they're going to find a million excuses to not see you.
Yeah.
And like, I know this as somebody who is incredibly busy, but all my friends, I'll tell them in advance, hey, here's the days I'm home next week. When can we do dinner? When can we do drinks? If it doesn't work, fine, but we tried. You know, there's a difference between being busy and saying, here's why I can't see you, and trying to make plans for the future versus just like, I'm just so busy this week, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, there is a difference. And I think, you know, you can be busy, but if you're prioritizing people, that's fine.
That's so true, because my ex would say to me, he was like, you're too busy for a guy like me. And then I'm like,
what does that mean?
I don't know actually what that means. I was like, what?
What is a guy? What a guy like? A
I don't
loser?
know.
Sorry.
Maybe, maybe actually, but no. I feel like I've done that where I'm like, I tell guys like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm sorry. Like I have this. But then I think in reality, it's like, if I wanted to hang out with you, I would. Like I would move things around and.
Or like I would say like, oh, I really can't this week, but like here's when I am free.
Yes,
that's my love language. Is planning.
I won't say no to the job. I'll say no to you maybe. Right. But then maybe that's bad. Maybe we're workaholics and that's why we're single. You can still work. I'm 31 now. I gotta figure something out.
No, here's my thing is I like it's gonna take a lot for me to say yes to being somebody's girlfriend again, just because of everything I went through in my last relationship. Like if I was with him, I would not be able to tour. Like it would be a hot mess express. He would be making me cry every single day and like accusing me of like fucking guys on a tour bus. Like that is how toxic it was. And you're right. It is going to take someone who's incredibly strong and secure in themselves to date me. But at the same time, it's like, I need to trust them. Yeah. Because like, I know what it is like when I'm tour. If you're here and you are going out to Broadway, like there has to be, I don't know. There has to be such a trust in like in knowing oneself. And I always say too, with relationships, the kind of relationship I want is like 3 people in it. It's me, him, and then me and him. I don't think there's only me and him, because I think that's when people get really codependent.
I've never heard that. I kind of like that as someone who's super codependent. I'm like, what?
No, I have such bad anxious attachment and like codependency. Like it's fine, but touring is going to make me not do that. Yes. And like even with the guy I'm currently seeing, like we don't talk all day every day, and I feel fine about it.
That's awesome. That is growth.
but then my friend was actually Tyler. He was like, is it just because he's not here and it's removed? And I'm like, all right, let's not go there.
I don't know. I think that you are thriving in your career, and I want you to focus on your career, and the guys they'll come when they see you like light up. And
the thing is, I've never felt more myself than like in this era of my life.
Awesome.
And I love it. And the thing is, and tell me if you feel like this with dating too, like I feel like it attracts a lot of guys who like want to like see you as like a bird to put in a cage. Like I've experienced a lot of guys who say they love my independence, they love my ambition, they love all these things, and then it's the same things that they hate me for, and they like try and tear me down about. Oh. I don't know if you've had that experience.
Again, like I feel like I don't have like a lot of dating experience because I kind of like. I'm sorry, I can't like say some of these things. In bed, like,
I mean, you could.
I'm like I don't know what I am, but.
To put in perspective, Rachel literally texted in our group chat the other day. She was like, Meg, you have a lot not to learn from me.
Yes. Yeah, I could say this. Okay. I really hope none of these guys listen to this. If you want to come to the show and then I accidentally book another guy at the same time at the show and you guys are on separate sides of the walkout at the same show, love that.
When is your therapy appointment?
I'm not telling my therapist about that time. That was actually the worst night ever. I was like, it was so stressful. Maybe we should cut these things out.
I really want to leave it, but if you beg me, if you can.
Maybe it's just like not in the highlight reel. Maybe the highlight reel is that we should probably cut some of these things out. Yeah. Is the highlight reel.
See, she's already going to edit this episode for me.
Yeah. No, but I think that's, no, I actually have never had, besides my ex saying that comment about being too busy for a guy like him or whatever, he was pretty supportive of me going on tour. Like he was like, I almost didn't do Lumineers because we were talking and we were trying to figure something out. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never had a guy put me in a box. I don't think I'm capable of being put in a box.
Right.
I'm like always I don't know. It's like,
You're
this is
doing
our
everything.
livelihood. This is literally how I pay my mortgage. So you can't tell me that I can't work.
So one of my podcast guests recently, she was like, I've been called high maintenance, but like I can be high maintenance because I'm maintaining myself. And that will stick with me.
Hot.
Like I'm like, that is so true though. Like I pay my own bills. Like I'm supporting myself. Like the thing is like, I don't need a man. I want a man. But like, I know I'm fine without one.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best place to be in dating.
I agree. But like, if you do have a power washer and I own a house, like that's extremely useful. And like, I need a guy to do that.
Rachel.
What? My house is like, it's brick.
So once again, people, we are not taking lessons from Rachel.
Shoot, I forgot. Okay. You don't need a man.
Unless he has a power washer.
Unless he has a pressure power washer or whatever.
A weed whacker.
Or a weed whacker.
Or a lawnmower.
Or anything that could be useful to you. You don't need him. Or a truck. Okay, no. But yeah, I'm like very like girl's girl in my power.
Yes.
To a fault. And I'm trying to learn to let people into my life that want to ask me out. But like Nashville is tough. Like everyone knows everyone's business and
everyone's fucked everyone.
Yeah, like I had Hinge for like a minute, but I've never had Hinge in Nashville. I always have it somewhere else. I'm going on dates in Atlanta, in Montana.
Where was it when you were in Europe?
Texas.
London or something?
Wait, what? Which story?
How many dates did you go on in Europe?
I had a little boyfriend in Germany and another one in
I just remember when you were getting ready to
Sweden.
leave, you were like, I've already got a date planned for this Europe tour. I was like, okay, go off.
Yeah, I did. But those are like, that's good practice.
It's fun.
It's fun. And it's like, but that's also like the benefit of touring is like you get to experience people from all over and kind of like see what you want and like. And then, I don't know, Nashville's just a tough one. But yeah, it's like, it's hard to, I don't know. It's just everyone knows everyone.
No, literally everybody knows everybody. It's it's insane.
It's insane.
It's like it feels like a college town, like an adult playground, summer camp, college town.
Ew. We gotta get out of here. Just kidding. I really like it here.
That's the thing. Is like I could go back home, but I don't know. I think Nashville's one of the cities either you love it or you hate it.
Yes, I agree. But like aside from all that, I do feel like Nashville has such a huge community. Like when I first started talking about this, like all the people that helped me get to where I am, like you don't get that anywhere else.
No. Like every time I've thought about going back home to New York, I'm like, I don't think the freelancer community is what it is.
As supportive. Yeah.
It's like so supportive. I mean, I'll never forget after the bus fire, like many like random photographers were like, hey, what can I do? Like, I'll pass you. People were passing me gigs. People were offering me their gear who I've never met. Like, you don't get that anywhere else.
You don't get that.
It's a very special thing. And like, that's what I love. It's about the connections that like I've made, like you've made too, I'm sure, is the good ones, you thrive. And then the people who are snaky and like are just looking to get ahead, like they get weeded out.
They get weeded out so fast.
Quick.
So fast. Yeah, I agree. It reminds me of this time where I was actually shooting for Big Time Rush. Do you remember them?
Yes. Of
Okay.
course I do.
Okay, I love them.
They're still around.
No, they are still around. But like, I feel like I might be like a little bit too old to be like, I think I was more on the Hannah Montana vibes.
I loved Hannah Montana too.
Okay, yeah.
We're only 5 years apart.
True. But I feel like it was like the
weird cusp. I get it. Yeah.
But I was doing a shoot for them and I wanted this like big box built for the photo shoot in 24 hours. And which is psycho. And I was like, I'm just gonna post on my story and see. Like, I was like, people are gonna tell me to fuck off probably. But I asked like, hey, can anyone build me this box? Literally need it by tomorrow. I also don't have a car to fit the box. So you'd have to like come deliver the box. And I had so many DMs like, hey, I got you. Like, what do you need? When do you need it by? XYZ. I just remember thinking like, this one guy specifically, I was like, let me know how much to pay you. And he was like, no, it's all good. Like, next time I see you out, just get me a beer. And I'm like, you're building up, you're going to like spend all night on this. So, and I just remember feeling like, that's crazy. Like, that is so Nashville community. And how lucky are we that we get to live in this era? And like, yeah, I'm from California. So I'm like, bitches be not doing that for me out there. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
It's really a special thing. But I think too with, where Elektrik comes in, where you come in, is like you really are paving the way for like female tour photographers specifically. Like I know you and I always joke about that, like the girls just shoot better, like it's fine. But it's true. Like I think you're helping ensure women also don't get like taken advantage of on the road. And like, what do you think, like, is there an experience or like a moment that you kind of have in your career that made you realize like things need to change or like women aren't taken as seriously?
Yeah. So when I first started touring, I would believe that I was the first, not the first, but like the only female country tour photographer at the time. And then Dan and Shay had a photographer, Catherine, and we were actually put on tour together. And it was like this weird animosity towards each other because I think that we were like the only tour female photographers, which is like so funny to look back at now. We're like good friends now. But I do feel like at that time when I first started, it was really rare for women to be on tour. And now I feel like it has changed so much, especially when I was on tour with Maren Morris. Like she's a big advocate for females on tour. So it was like more females than males on that tour. And with Carly, when we first started, it was just her and I. But there were, times where like I didn't get a gig because the wife of the male singer didn't want a female on the bus, which is such a bummer. So yeah, I do think that happens a lot where like we don't get hired because maybe the budget is small and they can't provide a separate hotel room for the female. So all the guys like have to bunk together, which I get that, and that it just kind of like is what it is. But I do feel like the game has changed a lot since I first started. And I can see like the more like the opportunities that females are now getting on the road. And I'm seeing more like production managers and riggers that are females. And I just think it's so badass. And yeah, I think it's awesome. So I do feel like the game has changed since I first started. But when I did first start, it was a very much like, am I going to get this job because I'm a girl or not?
Yeah. And I feel like too with women, like it's really a shame that it is this way and like a whole larger conversation. But I feel like a lot of times like it's like if we all have a seat, if there's a table, right? And there's only X amount of seats at the table, it's like we're unwilling to make room for that other woman because we feel like it'll take away from us instead of being like, oh no, let's make room for her. I feel like you're right. Like there is always like, for some reason women can get catty. And like, I admit I've been there too. Like we all have our flaws and our faults, but like for some reason we as women, and maybe it's the scarcity mindset and we're made to feel like this because for so long we didn't have the opportunity where it's like, oh, if another woman gets an opportunity over me, it's going to take away from me somehow or like something of that nature. But it is shifting because I think some of my biggest supporters in touring have been other women. Yeah. Which is great to see that it's shifted because it should be like that. Like it's already so tough out there. We don't need to be against each other.
Yes, I agree. And I also feel like there are so much of people like us, like creators and photographers and XYZ. But I feel like there's so much work that is in Nashville that there's plenty for everybody. Like no one should be like withholding work, which is another reason why I'm like loving Elektrik Haus because I'm like giving all this work to people and I'm like, here's proof that like there's so much to go around and
where one gig is, there's like 5 more, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It really, it's crazy to see too, but obviously I think the biggest question too for you is like, how the hell do you do it? Like,
I don't sleep.
Okay, well, we don't like we don't love that.
Okay.
But genuinely, like, how? I know you don't sleep. How many times have I texted you? Do you ever sleep?
Yeah, you're like messaging me at 1 a.m. on Instagram after I like just posted. It was like 3 a.m. I think, and you're like, go to bed.
No, literally, I yell at her to go to bed. And me and Tyler joke about it all the time. We're like, when does she sleep? Like, she does not. But it's true. Like, how do you? Because you take care of yourself. You have a social life. Like, you do all these things. Like, what do you think is something that you do that makes that difference in taking care of yourself? Because with touring especially, it's so easy.
Right.
To let all of that like go to the wayside.
Yeah.
And like I've even felt it. I'm like, how the hell does Rachel do this?
I think that when I first started touring, I was so obsessed with touring that like I didn't have FOMO at home. I just wanted to tour 24/7. Like I didn't care. And now in my 30s, I do feel like it is important to value your social life and your community because again, like those are your supporters. And I've also like just been burned a few times in the music industry where I have dedicated my whole life to this artist or this tour. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's business, and you kind of get lost in that, which is a tough thing about touring, is like the fine line between, it's so hard. You're like living on a bus with these people, but you can't be like, you can't have like super intimate conversations because they're your coworkers
or your boss
or
too,
your boss, and you can get fired, and you can't like, you have to be careful what you say, and like, but then you're like best friends, but you can't be too close because they could literally fire you, and then you can't get mad at it. You can't. It's not personal because it's just business. It is just is what it is. So I've learned to let go of that, which took me like 2 tours. We do tour, but we are also like stopping our lives to photograph someone else's life, and that's like not good enough for me, I feel like, and I want my own life. And I feel like you are the same way, like with this podcast, like you will cater to your people, but then you have to also cater yourself. And as a creative, like there's creatives that are just like super like into the being in the shadows. And like, I'm just not one of those people. Like I need to have my own life. I want to have my own business. I want to do my own thing. But then also because I get to do all that, I'm going to be a better creative for you. And so, I feel like and I say this every year that I'm done touring. And then
you literally said that to me like earlier this year when you met. You're like, yeah,
I'm done. And then I'm like, okay, I'm back out for 7 weeks the whole year and the next year. But when my last tour with Marin, I told her like, hey, I can't go out for more than 2 weeks at a time because literally my mental health will decline. And that's just where I'm at. And she was so supportive of that. So they had like a 3-week run and I just went home. And like, it was so cool that she like allowed me to do that. And so, I think like it just took though a while to like have that boundary of mental health on tour, especially, and your social life, and not letting tour win, which is like a conversation I just had with this guy that I was talking to, is like, okay, if we take tour out of the question, where would we be? And so it's like, I never want tour to win. And sometimes it does win, and I'm missing weddings and proposals and things like that.
I mean, you sent me to shoot your best friend's proposal.
Yeah, that sucks. That like, So I don't know, there's like that, 50-50 of what you're willing to give up, and you have to be okay with that. And then versus like, okay, well, when I am home for 10 days in between tours, how am I going to spend my time? And what does that look like? And not being afraid to book the trips and being like, I have a trip booked. I can't move that around. And if the tour wants you to be there, they'll plan around that. I don't know.
I mean, I literally remember this. Like, I was agonizing over booking the Italy trip because you and I were still talking about Chris. There was a lot of questions about that. There was a lot of questions about Franny. And I was just like, Frig, like, I don't want to pass up on this trip and then those tours don't happen. But like, what if I book the tour and then I book the trip and then I lose the tour? And my friend Steph literally said the exact same thing. She was like, if they want you enough, they will wait for you. And like, that's what happened. Like, I still got the tour because they loved me and my work so much. And like, I think that is one of the biggest things I've learned is, again, yes, it's great to be valued for my talents, but like, I want to work with people who want to work with me as a human. Like, if say the podcast ever would cost me a tour, then that's not the tour I want to be on. Because I know myself and I stand by my values, and like, I share all that here. And like, I would hope that whatever camp I'm with values the fact that I'm also a creative and an artist outside of them. And like, that I think is so important, is to not let touring drown your own voice, because I think it is, again, I'm only a year and a half in, so like, I don't know everything, but I feel like I can see the people who are like letting themselves be drowned by everything else.
Yeah. And that's like where I struggle with tour, because like a lot of the people I tour with, their whole lives is tour. All their friends is the people that are on tour.
Right.
They sometimes don't even have a house. They just have like a storage unit because they're on tour. And so they're like, why would I pay for a home to live in? And I'm like, I never want to get to that because
I can't. I need my space. But I feel like everyone's different. Like
everyone is different.
Some people thrive doing that.
Yeah.
And that just ain't me.
Yeah. And that's okay. And I think realizing that so that you don't let yourself drown is important, and taking time when you need time. So like all last year I didn't tour. Lumineers, luckily, were like writing an album. So I actually got to take the year off. And I was scared that when I wasn't going to be hired, or I was like not going to be known for like live music anymore, which is like what I feel like my category is. And I got lucky and I got to bop into like all these different artists, like Miranda Lambert, Ashley Cook, like Carly Pierce. Like I got to like just bop into their weekends, and it was perfect. And I'm like, dang, that was like rare to do as a photographer. Just so I couldn't like cover weekends is rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I just got right back on tour. So it's like, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I like what you said about like, you booked the trip to Italy and the tour will wait for you if it wants you, period.
And it did.
Yeah.
And the Italy trip was exactly the reset that I needed. It was the time that I needed mentally, like to take for myself, to get creatively inspired again. Like,
yeah.
Because I think too, a lot of the things, like the biggest lesson I think creatives forget is if you're not living your life, like you're not going to have anything to be creative about and like to make art about. So it's like, why are you going to put your life on hold then?
Yeah.
Like I think that's why creative block happens is because you're just, your head's in the sand. You're trying to create. You're not actually living and finding that inspiration.
I also feel like it's really important is like, if you're not taking care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your clients?
Absolutely.
And that's like something I have to remind myself of, like the power of saying no is just, if not more powerful as saying yes and taking time for yourself. And yeah, so that you can create even more for your client.
So you don't drop the ball and like overpromise, underdeliver, like all of those things. Like I think everyone makes that mistake at some point in their career. Like it's like a lesson you have to learn. It's a canon event. No one can interfere.
No, I agree. And I'm trying not to do that with like Elektrik Haus and touring and my art and all that. Yeah, it's definitely like a mixture. But I try to like have the boundaries of like Sundays are my day. I'm not gonna, respond to messages. I think you were texting me.
I was so proud of you when you said that. I was like texting you about like a bunch of random different things. And you were like, hey, I'm taking a day for myself. Like, I'll get back to you tomorrow. I was like, period, do it.
Period. I know. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you, but I'm ignoring you.
I was like, go for it. Like, I will spam you with just things as they come, and I know you'll answer. That's usually how I operate with you anyways. I'm like, she'll answer when she can.
Yeah.
If I really need you, I call you. And then when she's like, oh shit, something's wrong. But
exactly. I have like 17 unread messages from you, and I'm like, okay, 1 second. And I like go down my list. I'm like, okay, answering this one. Okay, now what'd she ask?
There's too much. This is your fault. You're the one that's keeping me so busy.
I know. I honestly like, you were like, one of your texts were like, just answer when you don't have a dirty martini in your hand. And I literally was like, I swear I had one in my hand and I got that. And I was like, how does she know?
It was like, no, because it was like, I was 2 hours ahead. So it was like 11 p.m. on like a Friday or Saturday. I was like, I know you're probably out with a dirty martini in your hand right now. So like, just answer this tomorrow.
Yeah, I was like,
it was literally me sending you like, hey, these are the photos I'm going to send for them.
Yeah, like, I know. And I felt bad because I know you like to like have me see them before you send them off. And I was just like,
I literally feel like a kid. Like, look, mom.
I know.
I did.
No, I love that. Because I honestly, I'll be like, okay, like delete this one. You already have a replica. Yeah, it's honestly like, nice to have a second look.
Because at that point in the night too, I'm so delirious. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing too, is touring is really just figuring shit out as you go.
Yeah.
Like nobody knows. It's also like made up.
It's made up.
It's literally like
it's an illusion.
Touring is a simulation. It is a giant game of Sims.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
It's so true. My dad's like, so you like live in a bus and you make money? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right. And I'm like, all right.
No, literally yesterday on the shoot with Franny, we were like, I was hanging her from the freaking clothesline. And I'm like, so what'd you do at work today? Oh, well, I hung my artist from a clothesline and made her stand on her tiptoes on a box and hold that for 3 minutes. Like,
I'm so excited to see that shoot. Also, it's really cool that you felt like so inspired by that. Like that's
literally like.
Do you ever talk about your creative like process when an artist comes to you?
Oh, no. Am I getting interviewed now?
Yeah.
It's really weird. I feel like it's like hard to even say I have a creative process because I just see it in my head.
Yeah.
But I've always been a very visual person. Like if I hear a song, I can just see the visuals in my mind and like what I would do. Same thing if I'm reading a book or writing a story. Like I just see it in my head and like I try to put that on paper and illustrate that on paper. And like it's, for a long time, I think I was searching for how to do that as a career because I always knew he's out.
I know.
He's
like kind of hurting my leg zone. I kind of want to get him up. I'm sorry. Can you go? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Out.
My legs are hurting. You like rearrange my body.
Can you lay down? He's pissed. Lay down.
I know. I'm so sorry. I just needed more space.
So like I don't know. I think for a long time I was searching for like what that would be for me. Is how to make that a real thing. And like I was talking with Austin, Franny's husband, and he was like, no, like you're literally like building a little world around this music. I was like, that's what I call it. Like I call it world building because that's, I want to show like how do the visuals from stage to the, social media to the visualizers, like how do they all connect and like create the brand around the artist? But it's like, it's not even just a brand, it's like their world. Like literally you are taking fans into their world, their story, and like illustrating that. And I don't know. I don't think everybody thinks of it like that. Maybe they do, but that's just what makes sense in my brain. And I think that's why Franny and I work so well, because I feel like she's also a very, like, that's how she is. But I don't know. I think for me, with a lot of the pain that I've had, I use it as creative fuel. And like, the book, I was telling Austin and Franny too, like, how, I wrote this story and then I ended up living the relationship that I wrote about, and it's like allowing me to rewrite it through a new lens. And I don't know, I always say the best creatives are the ones that are like traumatized, and I stand by that.
That's so funny.
He is obsessed with you. Come here. Come to mommy.
Yeah.
It's true. And like, I don't know if like that's a great answer, because I don't know. I think because every artist is so different, the way I approach everything is so different. And like some artists, they know to a T what they already want. And I'm just kind of filling in the gaps, where there's others like Franny, who she was like, we need this. What do you think? And it just shows the level of trust that she has with me. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like making sure I'm working with people who trust me, because it is, anything creative is a trust relationship. Like if you can't trust that I'm trying to do right by you with my vision, it's not going to work. If you're going to fight me on every turn, like it's one thing to like be collaborative and put input in and like be sounding ideas off of each other. It's another thing to be like, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like, and just like roadblocks, red tape at every turn.
Yeah.
And like, those are the projects where it's like, you almost want to just be like, I can't.
Yeah. And that's okay. Like, that's okay to have the boundary of like, because I've been in the situations where the artist is like,
Have you ever had to like walk away from a project?
Yeah, 2 of them that I can think of. And to be fair, one of them was shooting rugs, and I like my photos like weren't like, the rug wasn't like placed perfectly, and I was like, and it was such a high paying job, so I was just trying to get through it.
Yeah.
But at the end, I was like, I don't think I'm capable. Like, this isn't.
I'm not going to be able to give you guys what you're asking for. Yeah.
And I've also been on like a tour where it was just toxic, and I had to, step away from that. And I think that we get like really scared because we're scared of losing the opportunity. But every time I've closed a door, another one opens, obviously.
No. And I also think too, it's like at the end of the day, is it worth your reputation? Like,
yeah,
if you stay and they don't like your work, then like, is that risking your reputation? I think too, like when it comes, I think a lot of people don't take their reputation seriously enough. And like, I'm sure you have your thoughts on this, but I remember you and I had this conversation, and I said to you, I was like, no, like any shoot that you send me on, I know I'm representing you and me, not just myself. And I don't think everybody understands that. But like, what are because I won't recommend people to you if I don't believe in their work, and I wouldn't stand by their work, or I wouldn't work with them. Like, I won't, like, I take my reputation so seriously, because anyone I put my name on, it's me and them.
Yeah.
And I just think a lot of people don't look at it like that. Like, as good of a community as freelancers like Nashville is, it's gotten that way because people like stand on their reputation.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think reputation is like probably top priority, because if you don't, it's like, if you have a good reputation, then it comes trust, and trust is like gold with you and an artist. So yeah, I agree that like reputation is so good, or so important. And that's kind of like the scary part of Elektrik Haus, because I am putting my name that I've built for so long and have all these trusted people with, like, they're getting what they're going to get when they hire me, is now putting my name with all these people with Elektrik Haus. And it's so scary that like, if they mess up, like, is that going to fall on me? So that's like the risk that I guess I am taking, but I'm always like vetting these people prior, and like, I just have to accept that, like, and this kind of goes for things that you're doing on your own too, is like, it's okay if you don't connect or vibe, or your creative look is different than an artist and it just doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out. And like, you just move on to the next person. Like, not everyone's going to love your work.
No,
not everyone's
I've
going to be
learned that
obsessed.
very early on.
Yeah. And so, and that, like, that's okay because someone else will. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad creative.
And sometimes there's just bad clients. Like, I know it's like tacky to say, like,
I know.
Sometimes there are bad clients.
Sometimes there are. I remember. Actually, it's kind of funny that I'm bringing this up because they just emailed me. But like probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was working with this band and I had just gotten started in music videos. So I was doing everything myself, like filming, editing, coloring, all that. And so I did this video for this client, for this band. And I worked so hard. We did like 3 rounds of edits. And then at the end, the guy in the band was like, your editing is like buying a chocolate bar and getting a carrot. And he said, good luck with your career. And now I'm the media director for Lumineers. Yeah. And
I think that's worse than my, like, I just needed to feel expensive.
I know. And so recently though, that the girl in that band emailed me, like I haven't spoken to them in 4 years maybe. And I just like blocked them. I unfollowed them. I was like, go screw you guys because, and they also didn't pay me. So that was like another thing is I hadn't at the time worked with contracts really.
Yeah.
And so they paid me half of like what I was supposed to get paid.
And then they just never
paid me because they were like, well, we don't like the video. And I'm like, that's not how it works. You don't like pay a painter to paint your house and then not pay him because you don't like the color. Like, this is your treatment that I just like brought to life. And like, you were there during the whole process and now you don't like, so it was really frustrating, but she actually just reached out to me and apologized for like from 4 years ago and was like, I just want to, she goes, I think about it often, the way we like treated you. And I just want to, and it was actually a really sweet, cool email. And I feel like that was really cool that I got that. They're not a band anymore, which is probably like why Karma. And why she like reached out to apologize to me. Cause I'm sure like their reputation
tanked.
Yeah. And that's like another thing in Nashville. Nashville's too small. You gotta be nice. People. Yeah. You can't be sketchy. You gotta like, show up for people. And I think that it's too small of a town to piss anyone off.
Yeah. I think having contracts is probably a big, like not having contracts is a big mistake people make.
Yeah.
Often. Like having a contract saved my ass last year because I had a client who was like demanding the raw footage. And I was like, that's not in our agreement. Like I would charge an arm and leg to give you all this raw footage. Like we agreed on X amount of reels that I'm coloring, cutting, and editing. And like, that's it. And they wanted the raw photos too. And I was like, no.
Sometimes I don't mind raw video, but raw photos, I'm like, no.
They were already on thin ice with me.
Yeah.
Like, they were constantly. And I was just like, no.
You're like, no.
Like, this is, because they were also like, well, we'll send you, this is what it was, is they wanted to look at the raw footage and then they're like, we won't cut anything, but we'll send you the timestamps of everything
I hate that.
like. And I was like, here's the thing. And this is like, it goes back to the trust thing, is like, again, artists are people too. So everyone at some point is insecure with how they look, has like their struggles, and that's fine. But like, I said to them, if you do this, I can no longer guarantee I'm going to have enough footage to work with. And also that is going to then bleed into my editing time. I price based on how much editing time I think I'm going to need. Like, I was like, I can no longer guarantee the deliverables is what I said to them. And they're like, didn't like that. But I was proud of myself for actually having a boundary. Like, it's so scary when you work for yourself to set your own boundaries.
Oh, it's so scary because you want to just like kiss ass everybody because it's your business. But at the same time, then that's how we get taken advantage of.
That's why I like having you. You do those dirty conversations for me.
I know. I'm like, how much do you want to get paid? Okay, hold on. And then I'm like, and then I see the text thread. I'm like, okay, wait, we should up your pay here. And whatever. Yeah. It is nice to have true. Like, that middle ground.
It's so important to have people, like, again, before you, obviously Tyler was my saving grace. Like Tyler and Evan, I attribute a lot to because they both put up with a lot for me. But besides not having contracts, like, what do you think are maybe one of or some of the biggest mistakes, like maybe not even just freelance photographers, but like freelancers in general make?
I feel like the biggest mistake that a photographer can make is not asking the right questions. So when someone comes to me and they say, hey, I want to do a shoot for just an hour. Actually, for an example, I had an artist one time tell me that she wanted me to shoot her single cover. And it would have been she was a really big artist, and it would have been a really big deal for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the label email me right after that. And the way they worded it was, hey girl, do you have time for like just a couple hours shoot this week? Just to get some shots. Like they worded it very casually because they wanted me to underprice it. And I knew what it was for. So I replied and I said, I don't feel like a single cover shoot is just a couple hour shoot. So I called them out and they're like, okay, what's your budget? And so I do feel like having a photographer can make the wrong decision based off pricing is kind of how I'm going to answer the question, because I feel like I need to know what the photos are being used for, how many outfits, send me a mood board. I need to know, like, are we doing this in a studio or is it outside? Am I going to need rentals, XYZ? And moving the deck. And yeah, I think that it's important to get all the information before you price yourself. Because there's been so many times where I just am like, oh, that sounds casual. I'm sure it'll just be a couple hours and we'll probably do it outside. And I'm like, okay, it's X amount. And then day of shoot, you're like miserable because they're adding things and then it's taking longer. And then you're driving to one location to the other. That's 30 minutes. And then it's like, shoot, I should have asked all these questions up front. So just making sure you're asking the right questions is going to save you so much time and money and energy. And also just like the way you're going to show up on set, your attitude. Yeah. So yeah, I think like a big mistake a photographer and videographer, whoever can make, is not asking the right amount of questions.
All the other things too, like, am I going to get reimbursed for gas? Or like, am I booking my flight? Or are you guys booking the flight? Like just all those little things that add up. It's, you know, people will try and take advantage. As good of a town as it is, people
don't trust anyone.
Obviously, we have yapped a lot, and I know we both have meetings because we're both so busy with our lives. Oh my God, it's so hard being us. But first, thank you for being you, for being here, for being my friend and my manager. Like, I adore you so much. But if you had to go back in time and you were starting all over again, and 21-year-old Rachel, she's trying to do the damn thing, like, is there something that you would do differently now that is like advice you think new photographers should take?
Honestly, I don't think I would do anything differently because I worked my ass off when I was 21. However, there was like a point from then till now that I felt like everyone was out to get me, but it's like no one's out to get you, and no one, you know, when we say like taking advantage and managers and labels like coming to you and being like, what can you do the most for the littlest price? It's not because they're like, I have to remind myself it's not because they're trying to like disrespect me. It's like they genuinely just have this amount of money and they are maybe not as educated in the creative field, and we just have to remind them. And that is okay. And that you don't have to be angry or like, I feel like I meet a lot of creatives that are like, fuck Nashville and labels and managers.
They have like
and blah,
the
blah,
chip
blah.
on their shoulder. Like,
yeah, like
I'm a like tortured, unappreciated artist.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like no one feels sorry for you. So get over it. I'm sorry. And like, I had to tell myself that, like, there was so much time that I was like, I hate everyone and they're all trying to get me and whatever. And it's like, but then, you know, when you have 3 days off of work, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm
how
poor.
Am I gonna pay my bills?
Yeah. I'm like, how am I going to work? And then it's like, so that's definitely like something I would remind myself. And that I think it just comes with like the maturity of what we're doing. Another thing is that it's okay to say no. Like, I feel like I took so many jobs that I did enter like so many months of depression and dark holes because I just was overworking myself because I was scared to say no. Yeah. And now, like what we talked about earlier is just, the power of saying no and saving your energy so that you can do better work for your people. And I do think about some shoots that maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset, but it was paying a lot and I was just so money focused, and that's not always about money. And it's about like, we do this because we love it, and we're creating is so intimate, and like, we need to make sure it always stays that way. Protected. And it doesn't, it's protected, and it doesn't, fall into like, well, how much am I getting paid for,
Right. And like, you and I had this conversation recently because obviously like certain artists that I work with, like, don't have as big of budgets yet. And it's like, well, because I love them and because I believe in them, I'm willing to deliver that high quality work. And the thing too, is I think, you're helping change that conversation of getting labels to understand like, hey, in the future, this really isn't an appropriate budget, but like, for right now, let me see if I find someone who's willing to take it for that rate.
Exactly.
And like, you're really good about making it clear, like, this is not a normal rate you should expect, but do you want this project because you believe in it?
Yeah.
And like, I'm still early on. I'm willing to do that to, again, network sideways and grow up with somebody. And like, I think that is a special thing too, because there's something about a shoot that is zero budget and like thrown together that feels even more magical sometimes than the high production budgets. I was literally saying that to Franny yesterday. Like, we had zero budget. Like, we were in her backyard and we walked to a golf course and like just made it work, and it looks editorial, and I'm so excited about it.
I can't wait to see it. It looks sick from what I've seen, and I've seen nothing.
So good.
Basically.
But like, we made that come together in less than a week with zero budget.
Yeah.
And you would never know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Sometimes there's magic in creating with no budget.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where can people find you on socials as well so they can ask you to coffee?
Don't sabotage me. My Instagram is at Rachel Deeb. And then I have Elektrik Haus is also my other one for creative management.
And if you guys follow me and the podcast, which you should, you'll be able to find her pretty easily.
Yeah. Because we're just always tagging each other. I'm always reposting your
literally
work.
Elektrik Haus, I think, is like my fan page at this point.
Good. I love that.
Me.
Yes.
But yeah, if you guys don't already follow the podcast, it's at Not the Girl Next Door Podcast. Make sure you follow Rachel too. She is just an icon, and I literally live through her Instagram. It's insane. But make sure you leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening, and I will see you guys next week for another episode. Bye for now.
You're so cute.
You're so cute.